Hi, everybody. Welcome to Untapped. My name is Maureen, the even the queen, the even the princess. Whichever one sticks with you, that's what we're going with. Welcome to Untapped. I'm not chilling alone. Every week we're chilling with somebody, and his name is Mesh.
Wait, hi, how
How
you
you
doing?
doing, Mesh? What's going on?
I'm cozy,
What's with the
chilling.
drip? I need to address this
The
because now
drip, it's not even, there's no drip. I'm just being patriotic. The Springboks are playing, you
and
know.
the shades. I need you to explain the
Uh,
shades situation
Um,
as well.
I just felt like, a bit of a contrast would work today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Welcome to another episode. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share, let people know that there's an untapped Azania that happens every second week. We drop on Thursdays. We do drop on Thursdays.
We drop when we drop.
We drop when we drop. Anyway, let's get on to it, Mesh. How you doing? What have you been tapped into this week? What's
Damn.
happening?
I'm good. I'm cozy, like I said. What I've been tapped into, I think the first thing is just like the Springboks, their match against the All Blacks last week. I felt like that was such a that was a really dope game. The
Yeah.
comeback, we love the underdog story.
Every day we speak about an underdog story.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed watching that game. I hope we win again. Yeah. Also the Paralympics. It's been great seeing the people that are winning. Someone from our hometown came out fourth in the 400 meters. So I was like,
Crazy.
yeah, happy for them. I wish they could have just like clinched it, but fourth is great in the
Fourth is
world.
great, yeah.
Yeah, I came across the tennis duo. I
Yeah.
think you liked the post as
Yeah.
well, but like it was so hilarious how the other one dropped the other guy when they were celebrating. So yeah.
That was nice.
In addition to that, the farm murder that happened, I don't know if you
No,
heard
I didn't
about
catch
that.
that. I didn't
But
catch
like
that.
that was such a loaded thing for me, right? Because and this is why. So you've got three farmers. I'm sure the main guys, I think 60. I can't remember their names. There's a 60-year-old guy, there's a 19-year-old kid, and then there's also a black guy as well. So what they did
Wait,
is,
Mesh, is it the one with the pigs?
yeah, with the pigs, yeah. So what
Oh,
happened was um, two ladies and a man wanted to get yogurt, is what I understand. So like, there's a company that dumps their yogurts by that farm, like the expired yogurt. So they just wanted to get that, and then what happened was the owner of the farm probably saw those people going into the farm and just like decided that they don't belong there, and he shot them. I'm not sure if he shot them alongside the other people because I mean they're also implicated in the whole alleged crime. Mind you, the black guy, but like he's undocumented. So the reason why I'm saying this thing is so loaded is because one is the fact that they fed them to pigs, right? After they killed them, speaks to where we are in terms of just like apartheid and just white on black crime. How unserious white people still take black people, to this day. And given that there's a 19-year-old kid that's involved in this whole thing, it makes me think back to like high school, like when you were surrounded by these young white kids that were racist, right? And you come to the understanding that they were taught to be racist as well, right? This thing is still embedded. So that really hurt me. But also just the fact that like there's this other guy that probably did what he did because he had no choice, maybe. He's undocumented. We don't know why he's undocumented. He's probably earning below minimum wage as well. So that was something that just triggered me because it's such a loaded
and you might probably.
something else, right, that was so significant that I didn't think of in real time was the fact that these people were only caught because
the two women were shot, and then the guy they were with was able to run away and report the crime, right? And that makes you think of similar situations that aren't reported.
And he might probably get the worst of, like, if they were found guilty, he might probably get the worst sentence out of everybody else, given all that is. Bruh, I heard the story. I didn't go into details because, look, I try to not expose myself to things that are traumatic, especially when it has to do with Black people. So I'm not going to watch, like, traumatic movies. When the news come up and it's another violent act against Black people, I will get the overview, but I try not to get into it because I feel like there's been so many traumatic things that I can't take it. The part that I got was the part that the two ladies were fed to pigs. And when just that was enough for me to not even go into it, because I was like, whatever they were doing, if they were like stealing or they were doing something illegal, there's nothing that justifies you killing somebody and then feeding them to pigs. You know what I mean? And considering that it's a farm, it's like the crime that's associated with it has to do with them feeding themselves. So it's not even a crime that has to do probably with like them killing somebody or something like dangerous like that. I was thinking in my head, like, it probably has to do with them kind of stealing fruits or whatever that's available at a farm. Now, to get the story that they were actually trying to get yogurt, dumped yogurt, and then get fed to pigs, that is
it's crazy.
It is wild.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It is wild. Like, it makes me so angry.
That's why it made me think about a lot of things. Like, you remember when there was a whole altercation at the Freiboom when we're still in high school, where that tree was specifically meant for white senior girls only, right? And that's where they hang out with white senior boys, right?
Yeah.
And then Black girls decided, no, we're going to sit there this one day, and it became a thing. So it made me think
teachers got involved. That's how
teachers
terrible.
got involved. But it made me think of altercations like that, because there were so many throughout my high school tenure.
Yeah.
Even with the sports, like, it was just a mess. Something else was Prasa, former chief engineer, got sentenced to 15 years for falsifying his qualifications.
Oh, I saw that.
Also, he falsified an employment offer to just notch up his salary from like a German company. And that's also significant because this has been a thing this year. Like, people with PhDs from London School
and it's
of
always
Economics.
LSE where they lie about. It's like, like a master's or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is someone that was the chief engineer, right? And there was more than one occasion where people from Prasa went out to defend him, defended how great he is, defended his prowess.
But you know what? I'm interested in finding out how good or bad this guy was in terms of his engineering.
I remember a press briefing where there was a guy, I don't know the other person's credentials, but he was speaking highly of the chief engineer, right? And in that specific clip, he was also speaking about there are German companies that want him, and now it's so funny how those were fake, falsified.
That was fake.
Yeah.
But I guess
falsified offers. But that kind of, the fact that he had sort of that much experience within that industry to the extent where he became a chief means that, like, he did something right.
Yeah, there's something right.
Even without the skills.
But my thing is, if I studied to be like something like a doctor or whatever, and I never make it through kind of medical school, but like, I know I'm good at this. I'm not passing these things like the tests and exams and whatever. But bruh, put me in a room where somebody's giving birth or they need medical help, I could help them. If that person falsifies their qualifications and then they go on to become, I don't even know, they do like one crazy
Yeah, they get a
surgery.
cure.
They get a cure. They get whatever. They're like the best in what they do. And then it comes out that that person falsified their qualification. What are we like? What are you gonna like? What are you gonna do?
I mean, as long as there's no harm that was caused.
But they falsified their qualifications.
Yeah, they did. But like,
man.
we need to remember that those were standards that were set by the world,
True.
right? Like, we need to be honest about the fact that like there's so many self-taught individuals. It's just that like sometimes there are just certain things that it's too risky to just be self-taught, right? Where it's like you can't. It's wrong. I feel like it's wrong to be a self-taught pilot, for example, right?
My thing is,
it's unethical, and that happens.
Unethical.
Yeah, it's unethical.
It's unethical.
Yeah.
I think that's what because my thing is also is like, for example, at tax, right? There is like something called engineering week, and it's basically a week where the engineering students write all their exams, right? They write them in 1 week, and it's like if I can't pass because literally I just can't make all my exams in that week, but I'm a really good engineer, and I have all these bright ideas that could shake up the world and all of that. But because I can't make it through the system that's been created for me, I can never make it. If I take matters into my own hands and create something that solves problems in the world, are you gonna?
It's like a rebellious kid. It reminds me of like, I don't know if you remember Silly Breaks.
Because the purpose of why I hate school but love education was not to initiate a worldwide debate, but to let them know that whether 72 or 88, 44 or 68, we will not let exam results decide our fate. Peace.
Back in the day.
Oh yes, I remember
like
him.
with that video, it's like 44 or 68. We will not let exam results decide our fate. And I think in that
Exactly.
specific spoken word,
How many times have you remembered something 5 minutes just after the teacher said stop writing, only to receive your results 1 month later to realize that you were only 1 mark short of the top grade? Does that mean remembering 5 minutes earlier would have made you more qualified for a particular job? Well, on the application form, it would have.
we're speaking about like where it's like that last minute and you can't remember the answer to a question, and then they take your paper, but even before you open your textbook, you remember the answer to that question, which means you didn't get additional information. You just like it just didn't come up in a timely manner. So that's a really like things that do happen, and that could be the difference between you passing or failing, or you getting a good grade or a bad grade. So yeah, but that doesn't mean that you should act unethically, right?
I think people like that are worth investigating. I think it's a worthy topic for us to go into them and actually understand. Because if you can make yourself, like if you can make people believe that you are what you say you are, there's something in that a lot of people, because even people that are qualified, some people fail to make other people believe that they are qualified. So there's something in that. Maybe it's a human element. Maybe it's like a state of knowing and understanding people and how people function that makes that person succeed or make them stand out. Because like, I don't think people at Prasa are just stupid. Because if we didn't know what he was talking about, somebody would pick it up.
Let's look at the Tabi Lyoka situation, right? I mean, she's a reputable economist, right? So it's not like she decided to get a qualification in something that she wasn't capable of doing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just goes back to ethics, right?
Yeah,
It's not an education thing where it's like, because you've shown that you're capable of executing on the job, but it's important that you qualify for what you're doing, or you showcase what you have ethically, because if you don't, then it's wrong.
But doesn't this bring you back to the question that we had the other time about PhDs and people getting honorary PhDs?
Yeah, it does.
Where it's like, there's people that go through the system, get the degrees and stuff, and they're qualified, they're good, whatever. And there's people that go alternative ways and they become really good at this thing.
Yeah.
But because they didn't go through the formal system, we don't then recognize them as whatever. So they find creative ways to make you recognize them.
I mean,
because
imagine
there's like
someone, back to the Tabi Lyoka, I think she's got a master's, right? Or did she falsify? I don't know
I
what
think she falsified a master's from LSE.
From LSE, but she had another master's from Wits, I think. So even that, it's not. It's like maybe wanting to be honored, but you haven't been honored, and you feel like the people that have been honored, you've done more than. So let me honor myself.
That is so wild.
I mean,
It's such a wild
that's the only
thing.
way you can look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Ronwen Williams.
Yay.
Yeah. The
Ballon
first.
d'Or
So he's the
boys.
first African-based player to be nominated for the Yashin Trophy. So that's the goalkeeper award at the Ballon d'Or.
That is
He's also the only African goalkeeper in general that's nominated this specific year. So that's I think is dope. Yeah, the sensation Lamine Yamal as well. He became the youngest ever nominee. So that was a record held by Mbappe. He didn't hold it for too long. Here's the kid, the wonder kid.
Yeah.
I love that he's nominated, and
I saw
all
that
the
as
best
well.
to both of
It
them.
made me think of something actually, especially when I saw Lamine Yamal, because I feel like Brazilian players have always been like, there's always stars that come from Brazil.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know if it's a developing country issue that they end up not becoming as great. So they're legends, but they just
Like a
something-
Neymar.
Yeah, something happens in their story.
Like Neymar.
Yeah, like Neymar. I think
What are you saying? Are you saying they don't live up to
I'm not
their capability?
their capability and their legendary status.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at Neymar, he was like the wonder kid at some point, and everybody was like Neymar. But then his career he just had
I feel like
injuries and
Neymar's
things
story
happened.
for me is simple. Neymar was affected by being in Messi's shadow. And I think that his decision to leave Barcelona and go to PSG to just like
Stay away from
just to remove himself from that sort of situation was sort of detrimental. I think he had a greater chance of having a more impactful career if he stayed. He wouldn't have deteriorated by staying alongside arguably the greatest footballer of all time. I think the decision, and I think it's something that he's spoken about regretting, not only the magnitude of the French league in and of itself, but like also just Barcelona versus PSG as like a sporting brand. There was a lot that he had done even at Barcelona. People had recognized,
him there.
that I mean, like just his prowess, just to speaking on like his footballing ability. There's a lot that he had done when he decided to leave, So I don't think it was right for him to think about it that way, but I mean, the decisions we make, we sort of suffer for. But I get you.
I hear the name
Ronaldinho
of
didn't live up to...
I was about to say Ronaldinho as well.
Yeah.
Like, he also didn't really live up to his legendary status. Because I don't know if it was a World Cup that I watched or there was something that I watched where Ronaldinho was like, my brother used to be like Ronaldinho, like it was a thing. And then he didn't become, like, you know what I mean? So... I don't know. Maybe it's something in there that needs to look at. And yeah, so anything else you've been tapped into you want to get into?
I don't think there's anything else.
Okay. I'll tell you what I've been tapped into because this week I am so energized. There is the F&B Joburg Art Fest. I think it started on the 6th. It's ending on Sunday, I think. I went on Friday and it was so beautiful. So, so beautiful. I feel like I should attend a lot of that because it's so inspiring to watch and to see creativity from South Africa. And it's interesting to see how creative South Africans get with like nothing. Like somebody created like a whole sculpture, ngamazenge, amkuku, like it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Somebody had this recycled material sewn into like a person and so I really liked that. But when I was there, actually, I kind of had like a mini heartbreak. I hate that. I always do that, but it happens because it was happening at Sandton Convention Center. And that's convenient for a lot of people who are like middle class and like people who have access. But I could imagine for somebody or for an artist who's like in the township or whatever, being able to access something like that. And I guess I also didn't go into how many they've had. And I think it's the oldest art fair, but I don't know if it has ever taken place in Soweto or like an Alex or something like that, because I feel like people from those spaces would use a lot of that inspiration. So I had a bit of that as well. And something else that actually fed into that idea was because earlier on in the week, there was an ad that Mick Jenkins will be coming into the country. And I was like, yeah, I'm going, whatever. But then I go in to buy the tickets and they're like, oh, you need to send an email or something, and then the people that are hosting the event will kind of vet you, and then they will like let you know if you are able to
So
buy
classes.
a ticket. I was like,
That would I just not buy a ticket because of that.
it
No,
made me
that's-
so mad
I
because I was
wouldn't.
like, so
It's
what
like, who
if,
am I even gonna be surrounded by then?
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
because
also, what are you?
then they're going to box you into something that they're trying to find.
Yes, because they're probably gonna look at you and be like, okay, is
It's like
this?
when you look at certain companies and you're like, you see the same person, you know, and you're like, did you guys realize when you're getting hired that like,
This is the same, even like the same black person. Like this,
yes.
it's
like
you
the-
meet the quarter, but it's like a certain
yeah,
type of
or the black
per-
person that the white person would date.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
or the black person that feeds into the whole like who went to like a boys' high or girls'
The
high. Like
coconut,
they
yeah.
they fit into certain spaces
Yeah.
as well. So it got me thinking about it, and
You
it
know
made
what,
my
what
experience
you
terrible.
just said made me think of just now, like it made me think of like just the feeling bad about it made me think of survivor's guilt, because that's something that is like big. For me, it's like
Yeah.
I think a lot about like,
Yeah.
do you ever think of survivor's
No,
guilt?
yes, all the time.
Do you
All the
ever
time.
have,
I
not think of, but
no,
do you ever have survivor's guilt?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
a lot. I think it's probably one of my biggest vices.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I overcompensate in so many ways for the fact that I survived certain things or I survived certain spaces. And I feel guilty at times for surviving certain things and some people not surviving certain things or not
Okay.
getting exposure to certain things that I'm exposed to. And I'm like, if that person had the same exposure that I had to certain things, they'll probably be better than me. But
Okay.
then I see like maybe they're not doing anything when their life is not going as great as I would have
I've had
imagined.
survivor's guilt, but I've never looked at it like that.
Like,
I've for me it's always been like dead people. So for me it's always been like I lost a friend when he was young, so I'm here
Yeah.
and I still have the opportunity to experience
all of this.
all of this, and they don't. Like, where could they have been? So I have the survivor's guilt of just the privilege. But how you're looking at it is also very interesting. I've had that kind of point of view on things, but I've never viewed it as survivor's guilt. It's like I'm surviving in this space, or I'm doing well in this space, but there's someone else that could just be doing so much better.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that all the time. Like, I am so cognizant of the fact that I am not even in the top 1 percentile. Like, I know people that like just know so much more. Like,
Yeah.
and I am
feel that.
so grateful that I get to like engage with them. But the truth of the matter is, no, Mash, you're not at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it in, I think the one you're speaking about like losing people, I don't think I've lost as many young people around me for me to feel that way. But in
For me,
terms
it's not
of-
even as many, it's just one. Like, there's just one specific one that's just,
so is your survival
that hits more than others. But they are like people that I will think of, but like there's just one that hits more than
that you think of and you're like,
damn. It's just the general thing of like, yo, those kids lost their lives when we were young to a car accident.
Yeah.
Damn, that was sad, right? We were close and stuff, but like, there's one where it was like, this is someone like I was so close to, we grew up together.
They enjoyed
life
the
for them
things-
is life like me.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
sucks.
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I experience it from a space of like just surviving certain things or being given certain opportunities that other people would have done so much more with, that I'm like, if this person had, even if we come from the same place or we have the same problem or we suffer from the same thing, if that person had been given this opportunity in this way, they would have been better than where they are right now. Because certain situations kind of, force you to not live a life that you would like. So I think about it a lot in that way, and I think I overcompensate a lot for that. And it might probably come up as people pleasing, but it's really because I'm trying to like show you like, yo, no, like, you know,
You're better than me.
You're better than me, like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes
you shouldn't be
sometimes
here.
it's on them.
Maybe you should
Sometimes
be where
it's on them.
Yeah, sometimes it is, but it's still like
It hurts, but like sometimes it's on them. Sometimes it's like you have so much more potential. I'm doing as much as I can with my potential. I wish you were doing just as much or even more because you're better.
I mean, it's an old story. The three, is it 3 guys with talents in the Bible, where the other one was given 5, 3, and 1. The other one saved it. The other one doubled it. The other one just, it's things like that. It's like, but I felt bad about enjoying or having access to certain things that I feel like other people that, like, imagine if you're an artist and you get an opportunity to go to an art fair like that, that's well organized, it's proper structured, there's workshops, you can have conversations with people, industry leaders. They would probably use it way more than somebody like me who's just attending to, like, see things and get inspiration, So that was one thing. The other thing is King Lutendo dropped.
Yeah. I saw that.
He dropped. I'm always excited for King Lutendo to drop because he drops.
Yeah. Shop never closed. Shop always open.
My friend, this shop is not for close. It's not for close. This shop is for open. Forever it's open. It's Monday. It's morning. It's night. We are not for close. Every day we are here. Inside for shop.
So like I like it when he drops because a lot of his work is very affirming. It's very like, don't be so hard on yourself. Go hard, but don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing good. Like, and this like body of work is also the same. It's also like go hard, but like you're doing okay. Like
I added it, but I haven't like listened to it yet.
Yeah.
The one thing that I like about King Lutendo consistently is just the fact that he is involved from conception to completion with everything, like the artwork, the beats, the writing, some it can come across as selfish in some contexts, but it's like I look at it as it can be very admirable because he does have collaborations with your H&M's, with your Unarams and on some projects, but it's like I actually enjoy the full length King Lutendo project. I like the him creating the artwork, which is like always so descriptive. I like him writing. I like him just being just him full length.
Lutendo released the book called Cheza Goes Into Space or something like that.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how
kid's
seen,
book,
how seen I felt when I saw that. Because it was like, he's talking about people going into space and that person has a vendor name. I have a niece called Cheza. So it's like,
like King Lutendo is profound. Like he said something that stuck with me in terms of even just, it's like something that I was, you've heard of intermittent fasting, right? And it's like, for me, it's like it happened naturally before I learned about it. But like there was a song where he's like skipping breakfast, give my body time for even distribution. Ooh. Better health, a better mind, and intuition is the movement. And for me, I was like, okay, that's fire because it's like, yes, I'm skipping, I skip breakfast because I'm not hungry, but it's like, yes, I feel so much more powerful when I do, and it gives like the way you described, yes, when I skip breakfast, it does give me like the superpower feeling. So what else did you tell? You've been tapping into interesting things.
Yeah, but that's what I was so excited for that. Yeah. I love King Lutendo. I like the message he pushes, and I like the fact that he does it with so much ease. So he says like powerful things, like what you just did now. He says powerful things, but he says them with so much ease, and you can hear them and you can take them in. I always like when he collaborates with age and them because they have this symbiotic thing that happens. It's like they feed off of each other, and it's always magic. So super happy about that. But something else I saw this week.
Like mbirundiri ngala umona nga usaferi. Like that was like H Lutendo. Like when they phases and cycles, I was listening to it habitually this week, and you're right.
Yeah.
Like they could create a fully fledged
body
project.
of work. Yeah.
Like
that's a body of work I'd like to listen to.
Yeah.
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 I would listen to, before you go into meditation or something, I would listen to that because they
He's
have
actually
Zen
got,
things.
I don't know if it's still up on SoundCloud, but King Lutendo has a meditation album. Like
That's crazy.
I just think it wasn't dropped on like streaming platforms, but it's like
I will look at that.
yeah.
Shout out to King. Anyway, I also saw this week this reel of these two ladies. They've been trending. So they are Christian, right? But they wear like kind of uniform type wear. So they wear like buttoned up shirts and like dresses. So a lot of people were thinking that they were Amish, but they actually are not. They're Christian. And they said that like the biggest backlash they get is people saying like, oh, you guys are part of this Christianity where you wear like uniforms and stuff. And which is, I guess, similar to a lot of churches in South Africa. We're not foreign to that idea of people wearing uniform, but they do it all the time. So it's their lifestyle. And one of the ladies was like
all the time is like on a daily.
On a daily.
Okay, like sisters.
Yes, basically. Okay. So one of the ladies was like, yo, you guys, we chose this life. So this life that we're living is perfect for us. We chose this life, right? And alternatively, you guys think that you have so much choice in what you wear, in how you dress, but you actually don't, because the Nikes that you're wearing, like everybody's wearing Nikes. The style, if you look at just how people dress currently, you can point out 3 or 4 people that are dressed similarly.
Is that them saying?
Yeah,
okay,
that's them saying. Like, you can point out 3 or 4 people dressed in a similar way. So what you think is your choice is actually not your choice. You're actually influenced.
They're tastefluencers.
Right.
That influence our tastes.
Yes. And you think
and
that
prefluencers that influence our preferences. Yeah.
You think that's a preference. You think that's you choosing a specific style, but it's actually not. You know what I mean? Like, say, for example, if you just go out. Okay, I guess today is probably like, you'll see a lot of people wearing rugby shirts because the Springboks are playing. But if you look at people wearing the rugby shirts and how they dress, they probably dress rugby shirts or jersey, jeans and sneakers, or shorts and sneakers. That's probably
typical.
It's typical, right? You didn't choose that. You think I woke up.
This is the right way to wear this, and that's why it's like now I contrasted it with the shades, right? And they have a bit of yellow, so I'm not. I created a glitch in the matrix.
But even those shades,
matrix.
Let me tell you, like, there's a lot of people like just looking for running shades. These specific ones.
You're right.
They're on trend, right? So it's not even like, I'm sorry, but it's not even
You're
like
right.
it's influence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we project the influence.
I mean, you
that
can
we
look
have.
at, you could come across like an A$AP Rocky, for example, picture, or a Kanye West picture from like 10 years ago. And then you're like, okay, this is very influential of like modern Bram culture.
Kanye is like,
You know?
like if you look at, exactly, Kanye and A$AP are like the biggest influences of what's currently even happening.
Yeah.
Your own?
All the time, bro.
Really?
Like we do ghost designing for some of your favorite fashion
Ghost
houses.
design. Ooh, ghost design. What?
Like, so
That's like ghost writing?
yeah, basically.
Just like
Like,
that.
so like if like I'm the head designer at I don't know, Chanel or something like that, right? Like I could go and get you to, I could commission you to design something for me if I fuck with your ideas and styles like that. We've been doing that for like 9 years now.
'Cause
I got my own brand. It's all
Okay.
So it's like that. It's like, and what I was about to say is like, we project that influence to other people. So we're
Where
like,
you've been sort of influenced, like those people. That's why I asked if they said that, because in as much as they feel like they love that, they could have been, I mean, they're not Amish, but they could have been influenced by whatever culture they were born into.
yeah. So it's like they were trying to say, like, what if you think that you have a choice, but we actually are kind of in a similar position in that I just think that this, what I have, is just perfection. And my perfection or my perfect life or what I choose to dress as perfect does not look like yours. And it does not mean that it's not perfect for me. So you can't necessarily project that your perfection on somebody else just because.
Do you think with
their
your taste
perfection
and preference,
doesn't-
what do you think, actually? What do you think influences it most? Like, what do you think?
My taste?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Hip hop culture.
Yeah.
A lot. R&B and hip hop culture. A lot. Personally, I think that's what my most, because even like when I was younger, I used to wear like a lot of baggy stuff, and it was like 90s 2000s kind of way. Like a lot of rappers, R&B artists were like wearing the long basketball shirts, the baggy jorts, the baggy jeans, and the Air Force Ones, the white Air Force Ones,
Okay,
and all of that.
and then okay, cool.
So
and then follow-up question: when you dress up, right?
yeah.
What sort of influences why you dress, how you dress on a specific day?
Comfort.
Comfort.
I mean, a lot of the time it's comfort, but like when I have to go to work or like certain places, I feel like I kind of have to like dress a certain way. Like if I have to go to work, I started wearing heels because of work. Like,
but
you know what I mean?
I'm very, like, I'm exactly the same. I'm for comfort, but it's like even within a confined space where I need to dress a certain way for this thing, I will still like try to be comfortable. And maybe
Yeah.
that is sometimes detrimental, where it's like you could have worn a formal shoe, but you just decided to wear Adidas Superstars.
How I guess what I've seen is like how people see you is how they view you. So it's a lot of the times in professional spaces, if you're dressed like you're not serious, they might not take you seriously.
This is a question
I'm like,
I've asked like a lot of my friends that are into like dressing well, like, yo, why? And I've gotten like a wide range of answers, like, the way I dress, and I've always viewed them differently ever since. Like as individuals, like the way I dress is a representation of how I'm feeling, like on that specific day. So for me, it's always like when I look at that specific friend, when I see a color, I'm like, okay, what is that? How are you feeling, bro? Like, you know,
Okay.
if you're like gothic in the way you're dressed, it's like,
it's
okay.
like, are you feeling dark today?
Yeah, you know.
How dark are you feeling?
But it's very interesting. What kind of
What influences yours? Oh, you just said it's like comfort, but like you'll still try. I don't know. I think maybe when I was younger, I would probably go with how
But back
I was
to like
feeling.
also it's so
But even that-
interesting. Sorry for it was
Sorry,
just all over.
go
But
on.
like back to like also just what influences me. Hip hop is definitely a big part of it as well. You know, like
I
yeah.
don't give enough credit to hip hop.
Yeah.
I don't think we do. Because think about just Air Force Ones, Jordans. They are literally selling out every other day. There's limited stock being released because that like type of silhouette, that type of sneakers, like on the right, people want it. And if you look back, because the music videos are 2000 and stuff, like that's what guys were wearing. So hip hop culture, R&B, I guess, culture, Black American culture, I'd say. A lot of that. Okay, so the other thing that happened this week was I was having a chat with one of my friends. She's going through a breakup, and it's one of those petty breakups. Like, I mean,
They trying to see who can be pettier.
it's petty. It's
Doing this. And Bianca, if you're seeing this, just know, Lil James Tucker is done with you. He's done with you. 'Cause you hurt me. That's some pain that nobody can fix.
James, how the girl hurt you?
Oh,
James, it's not that serious. You
know what
really
it
getting
is?
your
You know what-
feelings.
You know what it is? It's them pretty girls that just the work.
like it's petty breakups.
You know,
like,
I saw a post about like, guys, could you please send me?
oh, I think I saw.
Can you please send me a photo of a view in a plane because we're at the point of our breakup where we're trying to prove that I'm doing better. And I'm just like, damn, there's so many phases I've never been through. Dude, because it's either I'm not interested in, like, I'm so disinterested where I'm not even like viewing your story. I'm not there. Like,
you're healthy.
Is it a healthy approach?
I think it's healthy.
Because
I think it's healthy because then you don't see what they're doing. You don't obsess over what they're doing. It's just like,
I mean, some things will just inevitably come, right? Because I've never been in a situation where I blocked someone, you know?
You see, healthy. Like,
you know, so it's like a post will come up, but it's like, I'm not there like, bro, I hope your life turns out bad, bro. Like, you know, like that girl that left you heartbroken, her life will not turn out bad. She will be successful, bro. Just work on yourself.
But bro,
even you girls, he's not going to fail.
You know what?
No, bro.
Listen,
bro, I went to school, bro. I've got a degree. Am I going to fail because this girl just doesn't like me?
No, your heart hasn't been broken. Because there's people that I wish you well, but if you trip and fall, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
You know, I've been hurt. Like, not to say I've never been hurt, but I've been hurt. But it's like, I don't wish anything foul upon someone.
It's not all of them. I feel like the older breakups that I've had have been very like chilled, like whatever,
amicable.
Yeah, but those ones hurt more. But you know, like
the amicable ones hurt.
Those ones hurt. But when I was younger, I think I was petty. But back to the story, right? So she's like, it's petty. It's getting to levels where she's petty. But she's like, okay, he gave her stuff. Like during relationships, you give people stuff, like, you know, presents, birthday presents, Valentine's Day.
What do you do with things that like you're gifted?
Wait, that's the story. That's the story.
It's making me think.
Because then she's like, she wants to throw like everything she got away because she's like, bruh, like she looks at it and she's like,
arrive kha vhathu vha dzi empty promise ngona vhathu vhane vha tou vha na dzi empty promise ni tou pfha nga ndi dzi cancelara vha tou nga dzi cancelara ndi uri zwine vha ri fulufhedzisa zwone zwoṱhe a vha zwi iti turi muthu wone u tou ni roba nga zwithu zwine a nga si zwi ite na vhathu vhane vha ri promise uri vha ḓo ri funa u swika vha tshi fa a vhathu u fana zwino mara a vha tsha ri funa vha tsha ri sumbedza zwone ndikuri vhathu vashu a ri bve kha vhathu vho no ḓi ita macancelara.
And it's like expensive stuff. Like she got like this expensive clothes. Like it's expensive. And I'm looking at it, side-eyeing her. And I'm like,
give it to me, bro. Give it to me.
Yeah. But then I'm thinking, bro, like, if you were to exercise your most extreme level of pettiness, what would that look like?
Latoya needs to go onto the mirror and look at herself. She has done nothing in life but fuck up. Latoya fucks up. Latoya is fucked up.
Like maybe you're in a relationship.
I feel like there are people that can speak to seeing that version of me, perhaps in situations where I reacted too quickly. Because that only happens in situations. So if that is happening in real life, in real time, where I have access to you, I'm probably gonna react, right? But that rarely happens the way my life is set up these days. And situations where I can react negatively, I have time to think about it. And I've become a calmer individual, you know, and
That is boring.
It is boring.
Like...
I forgive them for their shortcomings, like I said the other time.
Frustrations are, it's like when you've allowed people to be in your life that shouldn't be there, and then they do the thing you knew they were going to do, and you're screaming at them, but you really need to scream at yourself. Yeah.
You know?
You are what I would like to be.
Nah? You're making me seem like some sensei. No, fam.
Because I don't have terrible...
I would love to think that no one in the world is sitting and they're like, yo, I have malice against Smash. I would hope so.
Things.
But I don't have malice against... I'm not sitting here thinking about anyone like... I mean, there are people that have done me bad, but it's not like I'm thinking about them and I'm like, I hope your life turns out bad. I'm like, maybe you're your biggest enemy.
Healthy.
It's inevitable.
Healthy. You see, I think my biggest problem is that I just haven't been placed in situations where I can unleash my pettiness properly. Because if I was given the opportunity,
You would. All the way.
So yeah, I feel like maybe it's because I don't place myself in situations, or I'm surrounded by people who are just not gonna place me in situations where I should be petty. But if
But
given
you're
a
better
chance,
off forgiving them for their
no,
shortcomings.
I forgive you and I wish you well. I want everything in your life
At first,
to
I've
go
got to
well.
be petty.
No, it's not even like I got to be petty. It's like it's gonna happen. It's like that reaction thing you're talking about. Like if I'm
Yeah,
given
if
an
it's
opportunity,
yeah.
if I'm given an opportunity
To not take a breather.
to not take a breather and not like think about
Yeah.
yeah, like I think my pettiness is petty, and I feel like a lot of people haven't experienced petty from me because it's like they haven't placed me in situations where I felt like, okay, like also you deserve it also, you know what I mean? So it's that as well where I feel like all right, it's fine. But yeah, I think we are almost at the end, like literally at the end of this, because time moves like so fast. I don't like how time moves sometimes. Sometimes I want it to go fast, like if I'm exercising, whatever. But like when we're shooting a podcast, I'm like, can it move a little bit slower? Something else I came across was a reel, and this guy was going through at like a university campus. I don't know which campus, probably Vets or whatever. And he was asking.
This is in South Africa.
This is in South Africa.
Okay.
And he was asking people which faculty they feel like is just like chilling. Useless almost. Like he was trying to say useless, but I don't remember the exact word he used. And a lot of people were like BA.
So like humanities.
Humanities, like BA.
You know, there's a, I don't know if you came across it when I put you on, but like a Midnight Miracle episode, right? Where I think it was,
I'm tired of this shit.
I forgot, but like I forgot what it was called. Something about Bugs Bunny mathematics, right? And Yasin Bey says, art is a thing people forget they need until they need it, right? And that's the same way I sort of look at the humanities faculty and how it's viewed, right? Sociology, anthropology.
Philosophy,
Mind you, bro, I used to go to
psychology.
anthropology lectures for free when I was in varsity. But like psychology, yes, etc., right? But like that's like the most important faculty when we look at Maslow's hierarchy, like self-actualization, right? When you've achieved everything in your life, like shelter and security and everything, and now you just want to self-actualize. I can't see any other space or place where you get it except art forms or just individuals that can just help you elevate your being.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how short-sighted people can be.
And it's like we use that faculty for so many things. Like inspiration, like people who are studying whatever crazy scientific thing they're studying, you're studying using music in the
other
background.
day you were talking about
like
Billions and Wendy Rhodes.
Yes.
Right? Wendy Rhodes is there at the hedge fund.
She's at a hedge fund.
Managing the individuals that work there.
But she's like powering them so much to make like all these difficult
sharp
trades, and she's making them sharp, and she's like right now people talk about mental health and they and that's when you realize you need a psychologist, you need a therapist, because that science, or I guess science can explain it, but like whatever you're doing as a job cannot explain that for you. It's all these
beyond,
complicated things that you could study, economics, whatever. That stuff cannot explain your brain to you. It cannot explain how people react to certain situations. It cannot explain how people make certain decisions, how you make certain decisions in your life. All of that is found in that faculty. And I think it's a representation also of where we are as people, that we want to lead with our hearts. We want to say we are caring, we are all these things, and we want the world to be a better place. But the very place where people are actually talking about self-actualization, that are exploring that part of life, we don't regard it as important. You know what I mean? Like, we don't place it in the pedestal that we say we want to place certain things that are found in that faculty on. So yeah, like I found that very interesting, but also like heartbreaking as well. Because it's like I am not in the art space, but I went to an art fair just to relax, just to detox, just to like, and I got so much inspiration to do all other things in my life, art work, and it's free and it's available, right? But like, we don't regard it as that important. And I think we also don't realize how part of our lives that faculty is, like how embedded it is in our, like even the decisions we make on a daily basis.
It's like life and just understanding how interconnected everything is. Like for you to have a spice that tastes that specific way, to have that specific taste, you needed it to come from a certain part of the world, right? So even when you think of nationalist, right? I hate to look at it from a nationalist versus globalist standpoint, but let's look at it from that standpoint. But let's say nationalist, like, we just by ourselves. It's like, do you know what your country produces? Have you tapped into what your country could it be self-sufficient? You know,
and most times,
and not to say that can't exist. But I think a lot of countries that speak to wanting to be nationalist, like the citizens don't understand how much
they get from elsewhere. And also it's the same, it's like you thinking your own little profession is more important than something else. Like
You see, that's why I hate the question, what do you do? You know, like, it needs to come right with me. Or I'm going to take you. I'm gonna take you to very different places if the reason why you're doing it is to sort of gauge where you should rank me
that's what I was
in
about
society.
to ask.
And that's what a lot of people do in Joburg. So, bro, I will take you to like different places where it's like, bro, I live.
You see, it's levels of pettiness that too.
Yeah, maybe I can be petty in that context, but it's like now you're being intrusive and unnecessarily so.
Yeah, but it's a thing that people are used to, right? Like they do it without even realizing that they're doing it. Like they ask you, it's something that they do so often, or they've been.
It's like you just moved into a new apartment and your friends asking you how much is your rent, and it's like, bro, like I'm so cognizant of questions like that because I don't want to be that human. Like, why am I asking you how much is your rent? It's not like I want to live
but
there.
Maybe I want to move next to...
Like, when you leave my apartment, go check the name and then Google it and then speak to the agent and ask them how much whatever apartment you're looking for is. You know,
see,
like it's not
levels of pettiness because you see.
No, but I wouldn't, like, if someone asked me, I would either give you an amount that is way below what makes sense or way above what makes sense, you know, and then you'll just be left wondering.
You see, still levels of pettiness.
No, but like if it doesn't, I'm not saying that it consistently. Sometimes it does come from a good place, but it's like most of the time when those kinds of questions come up,
it's to
there's an undertone. There's something
to understand where are you in life, like. Where do you work?
Yeah, which
like,
neighborhood? Oh, you're in Joburg. Which neighborhood?
Yeah.
Which yeah. So it's like, nah, give them that neighborhood that they want, you know, so then they can class you there.
Fab. I owned you. Okay. We're almost at the end, right? Literally.
Yeah.
And it's almost time. You need to ask me this week. It is your week, yeah.
Yeah, it is my week.
You need to ask me.
It is my week, man.
Your weekly question. Make it nice, please.
Yeah, it is a nice question.
Make it nice.
Who are the most patriotic South Africans?
Most patriotic South Africans.
Modern day, like, let's not speak of dead people.
I see dead people. Most patriotic.
And you know why I'm asking?
My mind is going somewhere, yeah?
I'm asking because I came across a tweet where someone was saying, mentioned the founder of Miss Universe, and they're like, yo, please hire Bonang as the presenter, right? And then someone in the comments was like, no, we shouldn't root for her. She's unpatriotic. Right? And then someone else was like, no, Bonang is very patriotic. And I'm like, okay, now we're having...
Actually,
Bonang is one of the most important
but
South African figures,
Africans-
right? But like, them having a discourse about Bonang being patriotic or not being patriotic, like...
It's like...
Yeah,
it's
it made me wonder about like, who is, like, from your perspective, who...
I actually have two answers.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
I think the most patriotic South Africans are in the least financially stable neighborhoods. Like the townships, the villages. Those are the most patriotic people you'll ever find. It's like people that can't watch the rugby.
They're listening to it on a radio.
They're listening to it on the radio. Or they will walk as a group to like a place
A
where
tavern, yeah.
they could watch it. Even if they don't drink, they will sacrifice the fact that they can't drink and they'll go and watch it there. They will buy the cheap jersey because they can't afford the big one, but they want to show that like, yo, we support. They will do, I saw like...
And they have nothing to gain,
Nothing to gain. They have no social kind of benefit that comes from them being like, I just watched the rugby match. Because a lot of us like who have access to these things like use it as
and
like
it's all
social.
for show.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
it's
at
all
the
good.
stadium.
I'm at the stadium. It's all good. But those people, right? Like they will just they'll do it because it's for their country. The one time Sia and the Springbok boys went to like show the trophy at the Eastern Cape and whatever, somebody climbed a pole, bruh.
Yeah, I remember.
Like,
those videos were...
Right? People were crying in tears.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
POV Eastern Cape Springboks Trophy Tour. Captain Sia Khaleesi tackled for a kiss.
Patriotism.
Right? Those guys have nothing to gain from that. They and it's not accessible to them. It's not right here. It's not like you and I, or you can go to Ellis Park or whatever to watch the thing. So I think that's the one. But I think the most patriotic South African also, I guess it's in, okay. Yeah. I think the other patriotic South African, hey, Mara, you said alive. I don't care. It's actually AKA. I think that guy.
I was thinking of AKA. That's why I said no, because AKA used to... AKA used to like root for this country for real, like it was genuine. Like
that's why it made me sad when he didn't get like a state funeral, because I was like, this guy,
he even always had the South African flag on the mic when he performed.
Like he rooted for. I think there is a tweet that came up this week, and somebody was kind of asking him, what did he didn't post about some international thing, and then he said, did an international post about the South African
did
thing.
Snoop Dogg post about like Double HP? I remember something like that. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, AKA always. I loved his patriotism when he was alive and how he showed it. So yeah, that's my guy. You?
Alive. Damn. Like that answer beats anything I can come up. Like not the AKA one, but the one you said previously. That's so true. You know, it speaks to like just how we overlook what's right in front of us.
Yeah. And also,
you know, we want this amazing answer. I could speak to so many people, but sometimes it's like they're in situations where it's like they're in a patriotic setup, like sports people and stuff like that. So it's easy, right? But it's wonderful that you brought those kinds of people up. So yeah.
Just the last one as well before we close. Like even the vendor people with the football. Remember when Black Leopards used to play Thoyando, and that was like the stadium of, I think that was their home stadium. People used to talk about how full it would be.
And
even like on random
there were
days.
times where they played at Chifuranani.
Right, it was so
and that's
full.
not even like proper facilities.
It's not even, people would just go there because why? They're patriots. They want this team. They love this team and they want it to succeed. So yeah, it's all
With that said, peace sign for the...
Peace